Hello and welcome to the Shake It Up Show, the show that focuses on all things Bury AFC. I'm your host, Nick, and this is our series finale. It's the last one for a few weeks. We're going to take a little bit of time off just to recuperate, relax. It's the end of the season. For God's sake, let us have a bit of time off. But whilst we're taking our break, we have got you covered for all things Bury AFC. On our YouTube channel, Johnny's just started up the Shaken Up Show Playing Away, where we're going to be speaking to managers, players, volunteers about their clubs. So it's going to be other clubs. It's going to be rival clubs. Do we want to call them rivals? Opponents? People who are playing over the next couple of months. So tune into the Shaken Up Show Playing Away. It's going to be educational, informative, and entertaining. That's all I can say. Don't forget, season tickets, they are also available. Visit www.buryafc.uk to get your season ticket. They're going like hot cakes. And let's talk about the show. On today's show, we have a player who was the first ever signing for Andy Welsh. He is the one and only Adam McWilliam. Adam, hello.
All right, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you, mate. Are you?
Yeah, good. Very good.
Nice to see you back in training. I've been down a few times and seen you kicking the ball about. So how does it feel to be back in with the boys and back in training and being able to actually kick a ball?
Oh, mate. So it's just been unbelievable because not only has it been so long just seeing everybody, because I had the injury so kind of late on and I only really played kind of 3-4 games. And then had that kind of a nasty knock, and obviously, yeah, you see all the players, but you're not part. And the gaffer made sure, and the boys made sure that I was definitely part of it. But you're not on match days, and you're going out by yourself and doing the runs beforehand, and you're going off with Malenko and Aiden, and you did a brilliant job making sure that I was 100% fit for coming back. But it's just not the same. It's just not the same as being with the boys full time. So. No, coming back, it's not only just great seeing everybody, but it's great to actually be back in the fold kind of fully and for a couple of bounce games. So to not worry about the ankle and constantly think, oh, is there a tackle coming in, kind of twist, kind of turn, to be able to just go out and play, it's been a massive relief. And to get football back, it's been special, really. It has been class.
Has the lockdown kind of, I know it's probably not helped you, but is it kind of allowed you to kind of accept things a little bit better because you're thinking, well, I'm not really missing out on anything? Because I think you strike me as the type of person that will just try and push it and come back maybe a little bit too early, and maybe it might not have been the right decision. So has that almost kind of been a little bit kind of like a bit of a silver lining, almost like, well, at least I've not missed out on too much?
Yeah, me and the gaffer and Phil and Spain had a bit of a chat. It was before Christmas. There was one training session, and it was sore. My ankle was sore, but I was so desperate because I had a run of like 6 games in a month. You know what I mean? I can't remember what it was, but I had 6 massive games in a month over Christmas. And I was trying to sort out going home back to Scotland because I hadn't been back in Scotland since I moved down to Manchester before that. And I remember just saying to the gaffer, what kind of game, what we're thinking for bringing me back in. And he just went, I don't know. We've got 6 games. You're not going to be involved over the Christmas break. And it was tough to hear. And I thought, I'll never go in a sulk. I'll never go in a huff. It's the gaffer's choice. Always is, and I fully respect that, and especially when you've got a gaffer like Welsh who will talk to you and be honest. But I remember getting back in the car and I was raging, not at anybody, just the situation in general, just not being able to play. And I remember thinking, I could maybe have played a couple of games, but then after Christmas went into that 3rd or 5th or 30th lockdown, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I only missed 2 games because one of them got called off because of the weather or something like that. So if I hadn't gone back to Scotland, I wouldn't be able to see my family as much as I did. I would have maybe pushed the ankle maybe too much and missed a few games. So it was the best thing for me. So yeah, lockdown definitely had helped, and the gaffer and Phil and Lenko and that and Aiden were really, really strict in me and making sure that I wasn't coming back too soon, and even little things at training. it was like, right, okay, if we're doing this, ads, you do this, you don't do that. And we've got a saying, for example, there's a couple of boys who picked up a couple of knocks. So at training last night, they were doing a couple of different things to everyone else, and we're so lucky that we've got the professionalism from Gaffer, Phil, Spen, Lenko, Aidan. We've got such a good team there that covers all bases that we can afford to go, right, okay, you three go there. You know what I mean? And we can split off a little bit.
Is it like that? Is it like that at other clubs, Adam, that you've experienced, or are other clubs more kind of like trying to get people back in as quick as possible to fill a gap, or, you know, especially near Christmas as well, probably because people are shooting off all over the country. They might not necessarily. So, would it, you know, if you'd have played for another team, maybe you could have got a chance of maybe playing and maybe breaking down again or whatever.
Yeah, I think there was a combination of things. I think at the end the team were playing well at the time. There was no reason to force anybody, regardless of who it was or whether they were fit or injured. You know what I mean? There was no reason to force anybody in because the boys were winning. I've got a massive squad. We had the facilities and the capabilities to rehab and bring me in properly. I think it was just a combination of lots of different things. And because the depth in squad that we've got is so good, and I'm not going to give anything away to the fans, but for next season we've got a couple of new boys in training who've played a couple of friendlies already who are looking really sharp, really good. So we're only gonna build, and we're only gonna get better next season, and it's gonna be such a good competition for places. And having that, I think, allowed the gaffer to think that he doesn't need to force anybody in, regardless of position. If they're not 100% fit, there's no point in risking it.
Yeah.
But no, it was I say between the lockdowns and the quality of the squad, it was definitely the best thing for me. I feel 100%. It was good to get a goal. It's good to get a goal and start playing again a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, no, hopefully back to usual.
For those that didn't see, what happened? Was it the Walsh game that you? Yeah. Was it the what? Gosh, that seems like, well, it was so long ago. Yeah. So tell us a bit of. It was quite innocuous, wasn't it? And it didn't really look like, you know. It was a bit of a. Go on, you explain it. You tell us what happened.
Yeah, it was a strange. So it was a great tackle. I've got no qualms. It was a fair tackle. It wasn't a dirty one. I've got a picture of it, and it looks a bad one. To be fair, I've kind of killed their play a little bit on social media because I've posted this picture where the ball's nowhere in sight, and his foot came through my ankle, and my ankle's just collapsed. It's absolutely collapsed on itself. It was in a bad way. So I've kind of killed him a little bit because there's loads of comments like shocking tackle. So I felt a bit bad after, but it was a great.
Spot the ball, put an X where the ball should have been, you know.
Put an X where my ankle should be, more like it. Ankle's nowhere near it, but it was a great tackle. It's folded, but so I'm on the ground. My ankle's kind of popped out a little bit, so I've pushed it back in, and I've gone down, and it must have just been a pure adrenaline. I've put my weight on it, and I've gone, that feels all right actually. Scotty's then went and taken a throw in. I've had a shot. I was just going, what am I doing? What am I doing?
Foot nearly went with the ball.
Yeah, it's floppy. It was awful. I sit down, Aidan comes on, and by the time that had happened and I'd walked over, it just swelled up like a balloon. And kind of Gaff and that looked at it and was just like, "No, get yourself changed, and we'll assess it afterwards." And unfortunately, it was a dislocation, but it was mainly my ligaments.
Yeah,
that were the main one. That was the real kind of. But no, I'd say the physio Rich was absolutely brilliant in terms of giving me loads of rehab stuff, and Lenko pushes you. He does push you really hard. And we've got loads of running jokes and things like that about how hard he does push you, but it's good. You need it. So yeah, it was a tough one to take because it was only, I say, third, fourth game in.
Yeah. So
the hype of just signing and being one of the first signings and getting back playing, and obviously because when you think about it, the first lockdown was like almost like 3-4 months long. So I moved from Southampton. I hadn't played football since I know a few boys were able to even just get out playing. I wasn't able to do that because I was back at my folks in Scotland. So even when things were starting to get relaxed a little bit, I still wasn't playing at all. And then also moved down and managed to find Bury, and through my relationship with the gaffer, and then landed really lucky from that side. But it'd been a long time since I'd been playing, so I was just so buzzing. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it was a tough one. Probably more mentally than physically, because when you get injured, you get kicked all the time, and I think it was more just the mental deflation of.
You had all the build up and the excitement and the starting and all that kind of stuff, and then just not to the weird thing about doing this is that players often preempt what I'm going to ask them next. So you were talking a little bit about your journey. So how did you end up at Bury AFC? What was I know you were living in Southampton for a little bit, and then so tell us a little bit about what your journey was to get into Bury AFC.
Well, so I was working in Southampton, and then got offered a job with Manchester United Foundation, and then literally it was, so I left. I was due to leave on the Friday. The Friday was my last day in Southampton. Typical me, hadn't packed anything, hadn't sorted anything out on the Friday, and then also Boris put his announcement on. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, and the first one I think it was a Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember what it was. You must stay
at home. That one.
Yeah, and I was literally just a former boss in Southampton. I was like, mate, I don't know if the big close the border. Like, I need to go. I need to go back to Scotland, because I'd planned 2 weeks in Scotland before starting with United, just as kind of a bit of a break between to get myself sorted.
Yeah.
So that 2 week break turned into 3-4 months at home. Came down, managed to get myself. Just had to rent somewhere. Couldn't buy anywhere because you couldn't get flat viewings or anything like that. So just came down and rented, and then literally just popped up. It was one of them. I was always aware of Bury and the situation, and even when I was in Southampton, you heard the stories, you seen everything that was going on, and it was just awful what was happening with Bury AFC, and then I literally just popped up. The gaffer got the job. And I remember from my A license, we were friends on Facebook. I think I seen it. Actually, it wasn't even him. I seen someone else had retweeted it. I was like, that's handy. And I scrolled down a little bit, seen his interview, and I literally just messaged him, because I wasn't even thinking about playing, to be honest. Because I wasn't sure what the level would be like. My knowledge on non-league football in Manchester is poor. I don't know hardly any teams that we play against. Same as when I went in Southampton. Same as if anyone got a gig in Scottish football, they'd be like, who am I playing?
Yeah.
So it was a bit like that, but just messaged him. I was like, listen, fancy me not for a coffee, because I just had no mates, not because looking for a,
not because I wanted to play, just had no friends to be with.
Yeah, I didn't know anyone in Manchester, didn't know anyone from this kind of area at all. So I was just mentioning, mate, I didn't even know you were from this area. Fancy getting a coffee? And it was kind of like, well, what's that coffee off? We're training on Monday night, fancy coming? And I was like, 100%, yeah, definitely. So I went down first session on the Monday, and yeah, haven't looked back since. It was great to meet the boys, and you just knew as soon as you got there, whether it was, even though it was only like it was the second session. I missed the first ever session because I was a bit too late for that one. But it was the second session that I made, and even just then, no one had signed. It was just loads of boys in your own kit, but you could just tell the professionalism and the level of ability from the boys, and you just knew everything was going to be done right. Whether it was the back, the media team, whether it was you guys putting loads of things on Twitter, and the information was just so clear and so good, and it just felt like this was 100%. And then obviously you got to see the impact from the fans, and how much of an impact it was actually having on these people, and the numbers were just unbelievable. So yeah, it was an absolute no-brainer. So after my first session, even when it came to signing, everything was about 10-second phone call. You want to sign? Yeah, 100%. Let's get going. So that was kind of the journey.
How did it feel to be the first player to be revealed because I was there at the reveal, so it's all quite exciting. And, how did that feel? And I know you were saying it was quite nice for people back home because they were messaging you, weren't they? And, so that kind of got a little bit of interest from north of the border for us. So that was brilliant. So we basically called it an international signing. You know, it was it was as international as we're going to get. So until Calderbank Park signed, and then then it got a bit further afield. But yeah. So what was it like? What was the pressure like to be the first player to sign? How did that feel?
Oh, it was unbelievable, to be honest. So obviously you were there when me and Liam were doing our filming, and basically me and Liam only knew each other for like 2-3 weeks before that. We'd already met for a couple of, we'd already been for coffee and things like that, just to get each other to know each other a bit better. And like you seen we were having laughs and jokes when we were there, and it was brilliant to do that. And then I think it was yourself or Gaff message going, listen, you're going to be the first one. It'll be out on Monday or the Wednesday, and then someone else will be the next day. It was like, as brilliant as it was, I didn't quite understand what an impact it would have. And then I remember taking it was a holiday camp. I was working for United. We were doing a holiday camp with United, and I had my watch, my Apple Watch on, and it just buzzed. Oh, you've been met by AFC, mentioned you in a post. Oh, okay, that's them announced it. Somebody followed you, somebody liked it, somebody retweeted it, somebody followed you. It was unbelievable. It was absolutely amazing.
Did you think it's only a matter of time before I'm on Love Island here? It's just a matter. It's only a matter of time. I'm basically an influencer here.
Oh God, no! Honestly, Love Island's not me at all.
But I remember, I can't remember the numbers, but it was ridiculous the amount of even that little video that we cut. I mean, because it was in lockdown, we were kind of limited to what we could do, so we just had to kind of puddle something together in a couple of hours, and that was like kind of what we managed to do. Yeah. But even that was just like, I remember just looking at it going, oh my God, it's got like 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 views, and it just kept going up. And I can't remember what the final amount was, but it was pretty staggering.
Oh, it was just it was, and obviously there were loads of messages from people back home, and it's a massive deal. I mean, even everyone kind of followed the story originally, and then obviously when we were starting up, and then AFC was starting, and then it was kind of a message. A few people saying, "Oh, listen, I'm training with bed at AFC at the moment, not sure how it's going to go, blah blah." And then, but I didn't, you didn't tell them too many people in case obviously if it doesn't go, if it doesn't go well, then etc. And then literally just got posted, and it was absolutely, it just blew up a little bit, and had so many fans messaging him. I tried to. Well, I think as far as I'm aware, I replied to pretty much everybody, especially those that messaged, and like the tweets, because that is so important. It's so important, and we say it all the time, and it can come across cringy sometimes, but it's the fact that, we are for the fans, by the fans, for the fans, and they come first, and they're what makes it so invaluable to be at this club. And getting all the messages, it meant a lot. I just remember sitting there after work and just going through it, and it just didn't stop. It just didn't let off until 2 days later, and then obviously Liam got announced, and it all started again for him. So I felt it was an unbelievable welcome, and I felt really, really welcomed into the club from there.
Especially, I suppose, moving to a new home as well. And like you say, the only person you knew was Andy in the whole of Manchester. So it must feel a bit kind of like welcomed here. I feel like I'm almost home. I've got all these new friends.
I was living in Stockport, but I was driving to Bury just to do a shop, just so somebody might ask me something.
Just walking around the Millgate, just looking around. Just I don't know if you've outside Greg's, just lingering.
Just somebody speak to me.
No, it was brilliant. It was really exciting, and I mean, and then obviously we had the Daisy Hill game, which was the first game, and you had an absolute stormer in that one as well, didn't you? I think you got a couple of goals, and first time we played in front of a crowd. I mean, it's quite small because obviously we were just coming out of the first lockdown, so but it was even that must have been quite exciting for you to like I say, the start of the journey. Yeah,
it was. I always remember we played the second, because we had such a big squad. We played first half and second half, and I remember standing watching Matty score. And even as you say, it was very, very limited. I think it was 150 or something.
Yeah.
It was like really limited, and even then the noise was just like what? There was a bunch of guys at the back with drums, with flags. It was 150, but it felt like double. And to be able to get that, and it was a strange one simply because it had to be because of COVID rules, and that we had some half of it in terms of the media team. Everyone was so professional. The way that we handle our warm-ups, so professional. We've got the bands out, we've got everything else. But on the flip side, we've not got enough kits. So we've got boys changing shorts and change tops and things like that. And boys wearing their own jumpers because we hadn't quite got the warm-up jumpers and stuff yet. And it was a bit surreal. On one hand, it was so impressional, but the other half, mainly because of COVID, it just couldn't be.
Yeah.
And then I think my first goal, I tackled the goalie. It was one of the, it's one of the worst goals I've ever scored, but it was my first. It will always be a goal I remember because it was my first goal for the club, and second whether it's a friendly or not.
Second one, a diving header.
Yeah, second one was the diving header. So, I absolutely dug out on social media. The amount of comments like, "Wait, you actually headed a ball?" Like, I'm actually okay in the air. I think it's just because I make so many jokes about my hair and stuff. They're like, you don't head a ball.
Is it nice? I've got this. Is it nice to be able to send that over to your folks and stuff and to people back home and just kind of go, yeah, this is what I'm doing, this is what I've done. And I suppose as we go forward as well, they'll be able to share that journey because we are quite interactive through social media and through YouTube and all that lot. So it'd be quite nice for them to be able to follow you doing the stuff down here as well.
100%. They've, mum and dad, they're obviously the members. Loads of my family members are members and they watch the games, even the ones I was injured. I think it was at 90 plus 50 when Chrissy Holt scored that header. Mum and dad were messaging me, "Oh, what a goal!" Did you see it? I was there. They're proper bought into it, and they just love it, and they love how, again, just how professional everything is from the media side of it, and how much they can see, and whether they know they've got games coming up, and these little things like we've got closed door friendly, but we're still making sure that the fans know and have full kind of access to it. So they've been watching it, they've been loving it, and they're really hoping. I don't know what the plans are for next season in terms of streaming games and things like that, but no, they absolutely love that side of it, being able to watch while staying at home, because that's been a big thing for them. Yeah, I've had the support that they gave me when I was a kid, growing up driving. Scotland's a little bit different to England, where because you've got limited teams. If you play for a youth academy in Scotland, you're here, there, and everywhere. You're literally 3-hour journeys, 4-hour journeys most weeks, and for away games. And they did so much travel in that for me. So to go from that to then me moving to Southampton, and then never really seeing me play again, it was a bit tough for them. So being able to come here and they can still see me play and things like that, it was good for them. And obviously quite a few mates watching and giving them a bit of stick whenever you miss, but it's part and part of it, and it's been something that I've missed, so it's been brilliant.
Fab. So one thing that we always ask our players is a little bit about what you do outside of football, but you do football outside of football, because you, as you said, you work for the Man United Foundation. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, some days it's unbelievable being able to do football and football. For example, after the Daisy Hill game, we were doing camps the next day, and I just remember having this unbelievable buzz of playing, and then you spend the whole day next day playing football, talking about football, getting the kids to whip crosses in so you can show them your diving header again. And obviously, I'm joking, I didn't do that.
It's on YouTube here. I don't know if you've seen it. And here's my 37,000 followers that I now have. And you could have all this.
Is that you tackling the goalie? No, that's not me. That's not. As far as they're aware, it was an inside the foot finish from outside the box.
Exactly.
That's all they got told.
Keeper shouldn't have been there. You got to look at the keeper.
But yeah, so you've got that side, and then you've got the flip side of when I got injured. As at Walshaw, I got injured against them, and the last thing you want to do is go and talk about football when you're injured. You just want to. I would have given anything to just have an office desk job and just sit there with my foot taped up in my big boot and just not have to think about football. So it does work both ways, but 99% of the time it's an absolute pleasure and absolute joy to be able to do both. And so currently my job is school partnership officer. So my job is working within the foundation, working within schools to kind of bridge the gap and see how football, and in particular how Manchester United Football Club can support students and support kids through football, whether it's through the education side of it and creating literacy and numeracy programs where they're engaging in football but not engaging in school. And can we try and tie those together? Rather than reading about Shakespeare, can we read about Paul Pogba or Sir Ferguson's autobiography and extract information from that, whether it's numeracy or we're looking at league tables, fantasy teams, managing budgets, looking at that kind of side from the clubs. It's all skills that they all need later in life, but it's through the interest and the love of football and the passion that they have for it. Because as a personal skills, quite often kids get in trouble within school, and some of them are deemed kind of quite challenging to children, but put them on a football pitch. If they go 1-2-0 down, they're resilient kids because they're not going to give up. Put a challenging bit of text in front of them and they'll just give up automatically, and they kind of get dubbed as these kids who give up. But no, it depends on the task that they've actually got in front of them. So it's trying to use football as kind of a catalyst to inspire that kind of positive change within them. And it's honestly, I love my job. You can probably tell the way I talk about it. I absolutely love my job, and getting to see the kids do that every single day. And the other side of that is my coaching. Is just constantly doing coaching, where it's just loads and loads of football. So it's good. It's one of them as a player and a coach. I always just encourage all the players that I work with. I say, like, don't come watch me play, because you'll see 90 minutes of me of doing everything I've told you not to do. Guys, must work both.
Yeah, I've seen your mouth work quite a bit on the football pitch a little bit. There's a few bits of choice. Like, I can't believe you're such a charming, polite, nice young guy, and on that football pitch, you're like Dennis Wise or somebody. You're just like, you've got a gob on you, mate. As a coach, I'm nothing like that. Yeah.
It's all about, especially because the nature of the age that I work with, because they're kids. It's talk during training, give them loads of challenges. It's when it's the game, it's their time. The game is their time to play and make their own mistakes, and it's asking questions more than giving answers. Whereas on a Saturday, it's me and the boys. I'm a little bit more vocal than I normally am, but. Not as vocal as some. Not as vocal as some.
We'll talk about him later.
How did you know?
I don't know exactly what you're talking about.
But yeah, no, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love being able to, and the shift between being a player and a coach. And there'll be one day where I won't be able to play and I'll just be coaching. And I think that'll be a very, very tough day indeed. And because that's another one, when sometimes when you retire, you can't just retire from playing, you can just go into your job and get other hobbies. Whereas if you're coaching, you're still stretching for that ball. And when you see the gaffer in the gaffer could probably step in and put a shirt on and still play. Even last night we had a wee kind of 10v10 between ourselves for the last 20-30 minutes or so, and the gaffer joined in, and you can just see that he just has that passion for it. So yeah, it's been brilliant being able to do both.
I think when I've spoken to you in the past, Adam, we've talked about your football journey. You started at Montrose, is that right? And kind of went through their youth system and stuff like that. But you've talked about bridging that gap between, not just seeing football as, as a playing, that's all you can do in football. There are so many different elements to the football industry that you and as in the kids can get involved in, and that's what where you're kind of that's where you really kind of come into your own. You could talk about that for hours, couldn't you?
Yeah, honestly, literally hours I could, whether it's employability, using the skills that you can have to get a job, whether it's in football or not in football. And there's so many different areas, whether it's working as personal social skills, even mental health, physical health that it brings. There's so many different aspects, and working within a foundation that looks to support the community. And I'm very lucky to work with, in my eyes, probably the biggest club in the world, if not the biggest, definitely the biggest foundation in the world that supports the most in terms of quality and quantity within the community. you just get so many different ideas on how a football club can help the community. And even little things like Bury AFC, they're doing it, whether it's women's recreational football, what started off as kind of walking football, little things like that, doing the food banks. These are all things that a club can do to support the community. So there's so many different things, and I hope that potentially Bury AFC are able to do that in the future and have kind of younger teams and have youth teams. And in terms of going from my journey, that's where I started at Montrose, and Montrose Community Trust was originally Links Park Community Trust, run by Peter Davidson and his team. It's an unbelievable little community trust. There's only 3 of us full time, and then Gemma part time. So that's been the biggest challenge at United. It's at Montrose. I've got an idea. I want to run this program. Logan, what do you think? Yeah. Pete, what do you think? Yeah. Okay, let's run it. Whereas at United, it's like, I've got an idea. You've got about 30 levels to go up.
Somebody will speak to somebody, he'll speak to somebody, he'll speak to somebody.
Yeah, who's got to check it with the commercial team to make sure that the branding's all right, to make sure that everything, it's professional. It needs to be, listen, it's Manchester United, everything needs to be professional, but starting off at Montrose and getting that experience, even just being able to work full time in football at a young age. I was only maybe 20, and I was still doing my degree. I was still getting my degree in coaching, and then going on to do my honours degree after that, and being able to kind of work pretty much full time. It was tough, but it was full time job in football. You don't turn that down.
Would you say you just talked about your degree then? So you had degrees in, let me get this right, Beyond's in sports and coaching, is that right?
Yeah, sports coaching development.
So would you say that you are the most intelligent member of the Bury AFC squad? Liam McDevitt has got a degree as well, so be very careful. I don't know if any of the others have, but would you say you are the most intelligent player?
Without a shadow of doubt. Liam just takes pictures.
Modesty, yeah.
Liam just takes pictures all day. I am without a doubt the most. We should have an actual general knowledge quiz. Just get everyone together. You're
going to have them.
Try to think who else would be. No, I try to think who else would be up there. There's a lot more streetwise people than me. There'd be people who have got a lot more kind of streetwise savvy, but I don't know. I think I'd definitely be up there.
Okay, all right. We'll put you on countdown. We'll put your application form in on countdown. See how you get on.
No, I said it. Hold on, we're comparing me to the rest of the squad. We're not comparing me to the national average. That's two different things completely.
So you just touched then about your coaching and stuff. You've done, I saw you last year. Even when you were obviously you were injured, you still had a notepad on you. You were still making notes. You were showing the gaffer this and then a lot of screaming and a lot of shouting and tucking and come over here and then pull back and the referee and the liner. But you were still. I was like, so I think some people were looking at it going, wasn't that Andy Welsh supposed to be assigned as the manager? Was it either manager? You were up and down in that bench coat. Like I won't know what. I'll never forget that Steeton game. We were 2-1 down, and it was like the 90th minute, and we, Greavesy made it 2-2, and you were like, "Blow your whistle, ref! That's it! Call it!" And obviously, when we got the third one, I keep for everyone. I go about the Steeton game all the time, like it's some sort of this mythical game that happened.
Oh, it was
a ridiculous game, but you really took to the. I thought, I think, I could see where you could see that was your bag, that was something you really you passionate about it. You could tell, like I say, you had all your notes out. You were almost coaching from the side unofficially, and it was nice to see.
Yeah, it was obviously it was mainly just getting to learn. It was whenever I was speaking to the gaffer, it was more asking him questions than giving him pointers, and because he definitely doesn't need it. It was more asking him questions and try to learn off him, and try to find out what he was thinking and what he was thinking about doing, and speaking to Phil and putting a couple of notes down and speaking to the gaffer, asked me to do loads of stats. So he likes his stats and shots, offsides, ways that we can get. Where are we successful? Is it successful? It's 3 very simple things. Are we getting success going through them? No. If not, can we go around outside of them? No. If not, can we go over them? what different ways can we break teams down and try to work on different stats for that. So
you're basically you're doing tally charts then, are you? How many attacks you've had, how many were successful? Yeah. Is that what it is? That knows, you just lying.
Yeah, it was. Wow. Yeah, that was it. It was tally charts. And
so out of five, so if you said to him like, out of the last 5 attacks, we've only broke them down once, he would change his kind of.
I don't know if he changed it or whether he'd go, I don't shut the fuck. But no, that's what he was asking. He said, and he just said, listen, it was Gaffer that led it. He was asking me, can you think of a few things, and even little things like corners, are they taking them short, are they taking them long? So what's the kind of success rate of different things like that? Offsides, is it something we're strong at, they're strong at? If they're not getting caught offside at all within a half, but they're getting in behind us, is that something we need to change? We need to play higher, etc. Just loads of different things. And it was more just giving information rather than opinions. It was more just providing information that we see. The boys would joke and at the end of the game and a lot of things like I'd be like, I've only had 8 shots on target or whatever, or 6 shots on target. The boys would be in the dressing room after. Like Greaves, he was the biggest. Oh, I had 4. You had.
So if they're only like kind of like we only had 3 completed passes in the last 20 minutes. Like they're all looking at you going, you grass. You grass.
Hey, Tony would be coming for me. Tony would be absolutely coming for me if I said that you only made 3 passes.
That's really interesting though for all the people that will kind of watch football at home and they're watching Sky Sports or BT or whatever, and they're seeing a manager make all these kind of notes. That's the kind of things that they're writing down. Then they're kind of watching it and kind of making a note on success rates, and so it's kind of stat based usually. That's what they do.
Yeah, it's just it's like constant analysis, constant absorbing information to then give it back out. Within the game, it's just you can only give players information on what you see, and that's why the top managers are top managers, because they see more than others. And the more you see, the more you can give information about, and so the more eyes you have, the easier it is. And that's why you potentially see some benches where there's like 10 coaches, simply because it's 10 extra sets of eyes that can focus on each individual aspect of the game.
It could be goalkeepers, midfielders, centre forwards, or whatever. Yeah, it could be something as simple as one area of the pitch, one battle, the right wing versus left fullback. That one battle, you could have someone analysing it off the ball. Who's moving where? Is he going inside? Is he dragging on? Who's moving who? Just little things like that. And it was tough being injured, but the guy really looked after me. I could have kind of gone under. No managers in the past that have gone, right, you're injured, you can't even train for another month. Come back in a month. Take a month off. Not in a bad way. Not like we don't want to see you, but it's just take a month off. And the guy could say that to me, but he knew me well enough at that point, and he knew that because I didn't have anyone down south and I didn't really know anybody, and Berry was an AFC, and the players and the fans and the club was kind of my only real outlet apart from work. He was like, no, I want you part of it. I want you in. I want you watching training. I want you speaking to some, especially some of the younger players. We had quite a few younger players at the time. Kind of very unofficial. It was very unofficial. It was never a coaching role. It makes you feel very welcome and very kind of like part of it, doesn't it? Yeah,
and looking back, at the time, I really thought that I was helping out and I was really doing a lot. Whereas the more I think about it now, I think it was more the gaffer doing me a favour by letting me kind of be part of it still and giving me that role. And it just means that now when I'm coming back playing, I've still got that relationship with the boys, because it wasn't a case of who's this injured player coming back. It's Adam who's been there the whole time, and to be able to have that I was really lucky to for the gaffer and the coaching staff to continue to let me do that.
Good man management, really, isn't it? That's part of it.
Brilliant. I can't. Yeah, he's different gravy when it comes to man management and getting the best out of us. And there's some boys that need a rocket, and some boys that need an arm around the shoulder, and it's try to find that balance of which one's which.
So my next question, and this is a burning question, and some people, obviously, we were limited to crowds last year and stuff, but I used to see you turn up at matches and turn up at training in Scott Metcalfe's battered old Simpsons van. What? First of all, you are quite like the odd couple in terms of you couldn't get any more. You're quite a pretty boy, and you like your hair, and and Scott's like a no nonsense and shall I say it hard man? Shall we say?
Yeah.
Well, you get on well, and you travel around, you and like Max and Paddy in your battered old Simpson mobile. What's the? And there's crisp packets. There's cans of Coke, crusting. What is this? What is this van? It's like the Scooby-Doo mobile. What's the van and what's the significance of it? Where's he got it from? Why does he drive it everywhere?
So Scotty is, when I say he's my guy, honestly, I love him to bits. What he's done for me since moving down, I can't thank him enough. In terms of I've stayed at his house countless times. We've gone out for meals. I've been to watch his wee man Rio. I've been to watch Rio play loads of times. In fact, I'm going to watch him on Saturday before we go up to the game. Then I'll be round at Scotty's again after the game. We're already planning stuff like that. So yeah, he's definitely looked after me since coming down. And again, just that knowledge of, and again, just he's the captain, just that knowledge of me not knowing anyone and kind of taking me under his wing, for lack of a better phrase. And yeah, we're very different people, and we'll laugh about it all the time. We'll laugh about it constantly. Just little things like there was a cross came in the other night, and it's hit the inside of my leg, and mate, it was sore. I'm not gonna lie, like mate, it was sore, and I've got like a red mark where the ball hit me.
Yeah,
we're in this van after the game, and I'm like, yeah, look at that. Look, I got hit by the butt, mate, it's sore. And he's going, yeah, I took a little bit of a knock as well. And he showed me his knee, and it's black and blue. He's got like 2 stud marks down the side of it. And he's like, yeah, I took a little bit of a knock myself. But he's only mentioned it after like 10 minutes of me going, mate, look at that. Oh, look at that. That's red. That's red.
He's got half an amputated leg and pus and blood everywhere. Yeah, I don't know. Just there's a little bit of summit there. I don't know. Yeah,
and even just little things like me rocking my pink boots. For example, like he didn't have his boots one game. I was like, oh, do you want to wear mine? And he was like, absolutely not.
I'd rather run around in my bare feet than put them on.
So, but he would honestly play in bare feet.
Yeah,
but just little things like that. We always have a laugh and having a joke about it. That we are a bit of an odd pair, but no, I've got so much respect for him. I mean, where he's been in the game, I don't think almost gets talked about enough. Who he's played with, who he's played against, games that he's played in, goals that he's scored, trophies that he's won. I'm learning so much off him, and even little things like he's a captain. He leads us, and even learning characteristics like that and being able to apply that within my job as a coach, as a mentor, and being able to have him there and seeing how he manages other players and young players. I've been able to kind of steal different ideas, just the way he speaks. When he speaks to you, it's an unbelievable balance, and I say it all the time. It's an unbelievable balance of calmness, but providing that urgency.
Yeah,
it gives you that rocket that makes you think, right, we need to be doing better. This isn't good enough.
Calm aggression,
but you feel calm after. You don't worry. He never worries you. Never panics you.
Yeah.
He never puts you under pressure. And as a player, it's gonna be. Obviously, we've got. I don't know what the gaffer's going to do, but you've also got Joe at left back, who's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. And when Joe comes in, I'm sure he'll do a great job. But we're going to miss him for the first 3 games of the season with his suspension. Not just because he's an unbelievable player, but just that presence that he brings. But yeah, that van just got his.
So yeah, that's what I'm trying to get to. Yeah, it's lovely all this, but tell us about this van. Where is it coming from? Is it honestly? How is it still?
It's his van.
How is it still moving? It looks like it's come from Heartbeat. You remember Heartbeat that used to be on the telly? Well, it looks like some sort of 1960s, like some of the Greengrass has just got a new scheme and put some stuff in the back of it. So where does this van come from? Tell us about the van.
I'm not 100% sure where it came from, but it's his van.
Right.
So when I first signed, it was all like maroon. And then he's stripping it at the moment, but he's having to do it in like stages. Because he'll get a call with something, he'll get a job or something like that. But no, he's top class. He's as a kind of guy on the landscaper. And I didn't know what flagging was, so I had no idea what flagging was for like pavements and stuff. And he kept going on about it, and eventually showed me some of the stuff that he's doing. But yeah, if anyone's watching, go and get on Metcalfe Maintenance on Facebook. Give him a like and a follow. See the work that he's doing, because not as classy.
Make Metcalfe Maintenance.
I'm going to have to double check that.
And you'll never know that the old maroon stripped van could be round at your house. It's available for kids' parties, bar mitzvahs, and christenings. So but also some of the noises that you hear when he goes roundabout. I'm in the front. You're like, for example, like on Monday night, we're going around a bit and he's had to brake. So it's a red light, so he's had to brake. And you just heard this like thud, clunk, something snap, and we just looked at each other, and he's just gone, "No, I'm fine." Just carry on going, because if I stop,
oh my god, mate, do you want to pull over and see if it's all right? He's like, "Nah, I'm fine. I'll fix it later."
Brilliant. Right, we've got to the bottom of that. That's all I wanted to know, really. It's the only reason why I'm too frightened to ask him to come on, so I thought I'd go to you first. So brilliant. Right, so we've come to the part of the show where some of our players love it, some of our players hate it. Alex O'Keefe was absolutely awful. Chris Holt was absolutely amazing. So we're at the last show of the series. So
was it tackling?
It was what, Alex O'Keefe or Chris?
No, saying both. Alex was horrendous, but Chrissy was class.
yeah, very true. So this is going to be a recap of the Shaken Up show, the players that we've had. We know that you're an avid viewer, Adam. We know that every Wednesday at 8:00, as soon as it gets launched on YouTube, you're there. You can't wait. You're refreshing. In fact, you're refreshing your computer. So we're going to see how much you've learned from this series of the Shaken Up show. I was going to do a Scottish kind of one, but the last time I asked Alex O'Keefe, it was a lot of questions about Yorkshire. So I thought, I'm not going to regionalise it again. So we're just doing all things to do with other players and the manager and what they've said on the Shaken Up show, and let's see how many you get right. So I'm sure at some point Johnny is going to put in a little music bed there, a little bit of a song in the background. So question number 1. So I'm calling this the end of season quiz. Really original. So episode 1 was with Aidan Chippendale. Okay, this is a Scottish themed question. What Scottish team did Aidan Chippendale play for? Was it A? And you can. Have you got a pen and paper there?
Yeah. I'd love to have paper. I can type it.
Okay, type it. Okay. So was it A, Falkirk, B, Inverness Caledonian Thistle, or C, Forfar? So we'll get your answer at the end. So what Scottish team did Chippy play for? Was it Falkirk, Inverness Cali Thistle, or Forfar? Okay, A, B, or C? Okay. Got an answer?
Yeah. What do I say it now? You want me to say it now?
No. Just write it down. Just make a note of it, and we'll get all your answers at the end. Okay. Episode 2 was with the gaffer Andy Welch. Which MLS team did he make 20 appearances for? So was it A, Toronto FC, B, Seattle Sounders, or C, Austin FC?
I'm confident of that. So
Andy Welch was on it 2. Which MLS team did he play for? Toronto, Seattle, or Austin? Okay, A, B, or C? All right. carrying on with Andy, he was talking, one of his, instead of doing a quiz, he picked his all-time best 11 of players that he played with or played against. And in his best 11, he picked 2 Dutch centre-forwards. But which 2 Dutch centre-forwards did Andy pick as his best that he played with or played against? So was it A, Dennis Bergkamp and Patrick Kluivert, B, Ruud van Nistelrooy and Robin van Persie, or C, Dirk Kuyt and Ryan Babel? So A, Bergkamp and Kluivert, B, Van Nistelrooy and Van Persie, or C, Kuyt and Babel? You got an answer?
I do. I've got it down. I'm not confident on that one.
Okay. Question number 4. Chris Holt was our guest on episode 3. We talked about it a little bit earlier. What time did he score his equaliser against Golka? Was it in the 92nd minute, 93rd minute, or 94th minute? So A, 92nd, B, 93rd, or C, 94th? Okay. Confident?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually on. Yeah.
Okay. What Yorkshire team does Chris Holt support? Is it A, Leeds United, B, Sheffield United, or C, Rotherham United?
I was confident until you said that last one.
So what Yorkshire team does Chris Holt support? Leeds United, Sheffield United, or Rotherham United?
But no, I'll back myself. Come on. Okay. Come on, Adam.
You've got it, Adam. You've got it.
Yeah, right. I've got it.
The Yorkshire Messi himself, Alex O'Keefe, was on episode 8. But before starting his window cleaning business, what job did he have in Spain? Was he a bar manager? Was he a DJ? Or was he a club rep? A, bar manager. B, DJ. C, club rep. Okay.
I really hope I'm wrong.
Okay. Again on Alex O'Keefe, which football club did Alex O'Keefe join as a junior? So he talks about this in his podcast. Was it Bradford City, Halifax Town, or Harrogate? So was it A, Bradford City, B, Halifax, or C, Harrogate? Confident so far? You look confident, Adam, but I don't know. I always
look confident. Always back yourself, but
okay.
Nervous.
Last week we had the Battle of the Besties, so it was Liam McDevitt and Tony Whitehead for episode 9.
Yeah.
So, what Southern Hemisphere country did they become mates in? Was it A, Australia, B, South Africa, or C, New Zealand?
I was really hoping you weren't going to say Australia and New Zealand. I knew it was one of them. I was really hoping you were going to.
So they went and played out there.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm confident of that one.
Got it? Okay.
Yep.
So, question number 9. Apart from Bury AFC, what Manchester-based football team did Tony and Liam play for? Was it Stalybridge Celtic, Hyde United, or Altrincham? A, Stalybridge, B, Hyde, C, Altrincham. Play along at home. And then this is the last question. So, question number 10. So this is a Bury AFC related one. Let's see if you've been keeping up to date with all things Bury AFC. So, which of these clubs of Bury AFC not announced a friendly against? So, which of these clubs have we not announced a friendly against? Thackley, A. Brighouse, B. FC United, C. So, which of them teams are we not playing in pre-season? Or have not announced?
Was that we? See what you did there?
No, we're not playing them.
Oh, okay.
Not that I know of. Probably not my look now. They'll probably announce it tomorrow. And they tell me nothing. Right. Should we get some answers?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yep, I'm in.
So question number 1 was Aidan Chippendale, Scottish team. Which team did he play for? A, Falkirk, B, Inverness, Kelly Thistle, or C, Forfar?
Falkirk.
It wasn't. It was Inverness. Thistle. So
I knew it wasn't Forfar.
So you're not getting Chris Holt's record of 10, but let's see.
What? You got 10 out of 10?
You got 10. He got 10 out of 10 for last minute goal scorers. He's quite knowledgeable, actually. Episode 2, Andy Welsh. Which MLS team did he play for? Do you know it off the top of your head?
Toronto.
Correct. Toronto. 1 out of 2.
Loves that story.
Which Dutch strike partnership did he pick for his all-time best 11 of players he's played with or played against? Was it Dennis Bergkamp, Patrick Kluivert, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Robin van Persie, or Kuyt and Babel?
It's got to be Kuyt and Babel, because I feel that if he'd played with any of the other 4, we would have heard about it a lot more than we heard about it.
It's either played with or played against. So he played.
Yeah, I still think that he would mention it a lot more. If you played against Ruud van Persie, you talk about it every day.
He wasn't. It was Robin van Persie and Ruud van Nistelrooy. You maybe have to ask him. Yeah, he played against them at Old Trafford. I think he played against Robin van Persie when he played for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Oh, well. We've got 1 out of 3. All right. Chris Holt, when did he score his equaliser against Golka? Was it A, 92, B, 93, or C, 94?
93?
You're having an absolute stinker here, mate. 94th minute. 94 minutes, and it was something like 21 seconds or something like that. Yeah. So 94 minutes, 1 out of 4. Can you redeem yourself? You can't.
I can still pass.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Well, I think 50%. We'll sort of call 50% the pass rate. Just don't do an Alex O'Keefe.
What did he get? And he can't get the worst. What did he get?
About 2 or 3. They were a bit. The questions were all about Yorkshire. Like
mine are tough.
Yeah, but his questions were like, what was the biggest food produce coming out of York? Which is they were a bit crap. Talking about Yorkshire, what Yorkshire football team does Chris Holt support? A, Leeds, B, Sheffield United, or C, Rotherham?
Leeds.
Correct. Well done. It's Leeds United, the most Lancastrian man to support a Yorkshire football team.
Come on.
Okay. Alex O'Keefe, what job did he have before he opened his window cleaning business? Was it a bar manager in Spain, a DJ, or a club rep?
Bar manager.
It was a DJ.
Oh, really? He was he nearly made it in the industry. I'm telling you. You speak to him about it. Honestly. Stop.
Honestly. He was the Halifax version of Judge Jules. I'm telling you.
DJ O'Keefe.
How's he never said that? DJ O'Keefe. Okay.
That's got to be a celebration. He's got to start giving it.
Which football club did he join as a junior? Was it Bradford City, Halifax Town, or Harrogate?
Bradford.
Adam, this is
Halifax.
It's Halifax, mate. Yeah, I can only take your first answer. I'm sorry, you can't. You're not cheating me.
I'm confident about the next 2.
Then we've got 3 left. So let's go. This is on Tony and Liam. So which country did they become mates in? Southern Hemisphere country. Was it A, Australia, B, South Africa, or C, New Zealand?
Australia.
It tells me that you haven't watched many episodes. Have you gone? That's it. He's gone. He's hung up. No, he's there. He just flashed off for a minute. I thought you hung up. You haven't watched the Shaken Up show, have you, Adam? Admit it.
Oh, but it is Australia. It is Australia, isn't it?
No,
it is.
New Zealand. Adam.
They've lied to me.
We've got 2 out of 8. Let's try and just pull this back a little bit. All right.
The next one I'm confident with. Next one.
Apart from Bury AFC, what Manchester-based football team did Tony and Liam both play for? Can you answer that off the top of your head?
Staley Bridge.
It was Staley Vegas. Yeah, Staley Bridge. Well done.
Come on.
We've got 3. Please, hopefully you'll get this last one. This is on par with Alex O'Keefe. We've got to beat Alex O'Keefe. So question number 10. Which of these clubs have we not announced a friendly against? Stackley, Brighouse, FC United.
Stackley.
Oh my God. Oh. Do you even know who you play for? You put him on. Do you even
listen?
You're so
did I not say? Did I not say at the start? Like, I don't know, like, because I'm not from the area. I don't know who we play against.
What do you mean? He's all on social media.
Yeah, but it's about turning up. Mate, it's all about the next game. It's all about the next game.
So who's the next game then?
Euxton.
Euxton on Saturday. Go and watch it. Get a ticket. Euxton.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Saturday. Good. Okay, you knew that. That's fantastic.
It's all about the next game.
Yeah. Do you know that you can still get tickets for the Euxton game?
Yes, you can.
Where do you get it from?
You click a link on Twitter.
On Twitter or on Facebook or on the club website, www.buryafc.uk. Adam, you've been a great sport. Thank you so much, mate.
No, thanks for having me.
We'll look forward to seeing you next season. Have you got any messages that you'd like to put out there to the fans and who are looking forward to watching you play next season?
Oh, I was just looking forward to watching everyone we play. It's going to be such an exciting season. I can't stress enough how much the boys are absolutely buzzing to get going and playing in front of you fans again. I think that I would go as far to say we're almost more excited to see you guys than you are to see us. And every single training session, the gaffer mentions it. It's, guys, this is what we're getting preparing for. This is what we're preparing for. It's not just the opposition you're preparing for. You're preparing for playing in front of fans that are so passionate about the club, about the town, and football within the town. So we're very much aware of why we're here and what the club's about. And as much as you guys are excited to be back, I can guarantee we're absolutely buzzing to have you.
Thanks very much, Adam. Cheers, matey.
No worries, top class.
A massive thank you there to Adam McWilliam for joining us on this week's Shaken Up show. I just want to say a huge thank you as well for all the people that have watched, subscribed, liked, shared our content and joined us on this journey through the last 2 or 3 months. So huge thank you to you guys for watching. I was going to say at home, but it could be on the bus or it could be going to work or it could be, who knows, on the loo. Oof. Don't forget, there's loads of other content on this YouTube channel. You can check out Johnny's new Playing Away show. That sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? But it's in context because it's about other clubs and us playing away against them. So it's not kind of like some sort of catfish thing. So yeah, go and check that out. It's good. Also, we've got quick fire questions with some of our players and there are highlights from last season. So go and have a look. There's some little boxes that kind of appear around here in a minute. You can also check us out on our social media platforms. I mean, what could go wrong on social media? You can, there's no, it's a safe haven for us all. So go and have a look on Twitter. It's a fun place to put a comment about something. On Facebook, on Instagram and on TikTok. So go and have a look at our content on there. Also, if you want to get some information about the club, whether that be upcoming fixtures, tickets for events, or a season ticket, make sure you get a season ticket. It's available on the club website, www.buryafc.uk. And this is also available as a podcast. It's on the usual places, whether that be the podcast, Apple Podcasts or Spotify's or Podbean or Anchor. There's all these places you can get your podcast. So go and listen there if you hate my face, which I'm sure a few people may do. Until next time, Series 4 of the Shake It Up Show will be coming soon. Thank you very much. Goodbye.